Okay, hi, a quick podcast here for dividing long polynomials. It's a four-step process, and the first thing that you need to do is write your polynomials in long division form. So there's our divisor, and then we're going to write down the 4x to the third minus 4x squared minus 9x plus 9. Now, if there were in this term here, if there was anything that was being skipped, so let's say that didn't have an x squared term, it was just 4x to the third minus 9x plus 9, you would go ahead, the best thing to do is put in like plus 0x squared. First step in terms of doing this is to divide this leading term of the divisor into the leading term of the number that you're dividing into. So how many times does 4 or x go into 4x cubed? And that would become 4x, change colors here, 4x squared. Okay, and then the next thing is that you're going to multiply that out just like you would with a regular division problem. So you're going to go 4x squared times x minus 2. So when you go through and you multiply that out, you're going to end up getting 4x to the third minus 8x squared. Okay, then just like you would if a standard division problem, you're going to then subtract that number. Now, the one thing when you do this, this is the place where mistakes happen, because when you subtract this, remember, you're actually subtracting this first term and the second term, and so this is actually going to become a negative 4x to the third, and this is going to become a positive 8x squared for all intents and purposes. So then you're going to go ahead and simplify this. This part will go away and can become a 0. So this is now 4x squared when you add the negative 4x squared to the 8x. And then the last step is that you're just going to drop everything else. So everything else will come down, the negative 9x plus 9. And then you repeat the steps that we just did. So in this case, we're going to say, okay, divide this x into 4x squared. And what do you get? When you do that, you're going to get 4x, and that's what we'll multiply through by. So we go through and we multiply that through. Step 2, 4x times x, by the x minus 2, you come up with 4x squared minus 8x this time. And again, like we had talked about, now you're going to subtract. Be careful. Swapping the signs is probably the easiest way to do it. And then again, simplify this, so we're going to add this, so you come up with a negative 1x plus 9. That's the dropping, and then we repeat the process all over again. So x dividing into negative 1x becomes a negative 1. Oops, let's stay consistent with my colors. Negative 1s, you multiply that through, and you come up with negative 1x plus 2. And then again, you're going to subtract that. So then this becomes plus, this becomes a negative, and you get left over with 7. And much like you would, now instead of writing down remainder 7 up here, we're going to go through it and we're going to write down plus, oops, sorry, the remainder, which is 7, over your divisor. So in this case, over x minus 2. So again, after you get it set up in the line division style, 4 steps: divide, multiply, subtract, drop, and repeat, or drop the rest of the polynomial and repeat it. We'll do one more just for good measure. This one is actually an example where we're skipping something, skipping a term. So again, let's get this set up. X minus 7 here on the outside, and we're dividing that into the polynomial of x to the fourth minus 6x to the third. Now again, we don't have a squared term, but we are going to hold its place, just like you would. I mean, if we had the number 1063, you would have a 0 holding the place in the hundreds. So we're going to do that, and then plus 33. So again, first step is divide. If I divide the leading term here, the x into the x to the fourth, what do you get? X to the third. So I'm going to write x to the third up here. And then we're going to multiply x to the third times x minus 7. So we come up with x to the fourth minus 7x to the third. It's time to subtract that. So when we subtract, I'm going to change colors so you can make sure that that's very clear. And then we're going to combine this, and you're going to get 1x to the third plus 0x squared minus 40x plus 33. And so that's the dropping part. Now we just have to repeat it. So again, divide the x into x to the third. So that would give us 1x squared. Multiply it out, x squared times x minus 7. So I get 1x to the third minus 7x squared. And we're going to subtract that. And again, this is a place where people make mistakes. Watch yourself. Oops, sorry. Let's make that red to stand out. And again, this is where taking notes in multiple colors oftentimes is helpful, because when you go back and look at the notes, you can say, oh wait, that wasn't the original part. So finish the subtraction. I get 7x squared minus 40x as I drop the rest of the polynomial down. And we repeat the process all over again. Divide the x into 7x squared. 7x squared divided by x will give us 7x. Step 2, multiply 7x times x minus 7 and write it in the appropriate spots. So in this case, I've got 7x squared minus 49x. Time to subtract. So then this becomes 9x plus 33. And again, this is going to be the last one, so we're going to say, okay, how many times does x go into 9x? The answer there, of course, is 9. And we're going to go 9 times x minus 7. 9x minus 63. And that gives us, and then again, we're subtracting. So this becomes negative, this becomes positive, and we come up with, what is it, 96. So, plus 96. Remember, the remainder always goes over the divisor. And that is your answer. Hope that helped. And if you have any questions, I'd make sure, obviously, you call or text me. Call, text, or email me. Thank you very much.